All right, everybody. Let me just check some stuff here and make sure we're live at least. Make sure we got sound here real quick. All right, we have sound. So, no Thursday live stream. We're trying to make that up with a Friday one today. Anyway, I'm your host, Badger Wild. We are back working on the good old fashioned missile destroyer we've been working on for a while in an attempt to get this thing space worthy so that we can actually take it out and have something I can throw into the workshop so you guys can play around with. So, working off last time, I was trying to build a cannon on the front of this thing, and it just was not turning out the way I wanted it to. For those that are wondering, um, I'm thinking here I need to do a little bit of experimentation with this just to see if it's possible. I don't think it's going to be. I was hoping what I could do is I could just put some of this stuff in here and then just kind of modify the front end of it, but it doesn't seem to be wanting to do that right now. The thing is, I'm wanting to put a triple battery assault cannon turret on here. I don't know if I've got the exact amount of height I need yet. It is an issue. It is an issue. Because what I want is for all of this to be connected to one system. And that's very difficult to do. Well, no, maybe not. Maybe not. Like I said, if I leave a hinge in the middle, maybe we can do this with one hinge. I don't know. Let me see. Let me see if I can find my hinge. Because the hinge doesn't seem to be anywhere here right now. There we are. Okay, let's put a small hinge in here, like so. And then let's go ahead right now. Install this. And I want to use these pipes here. Because I'd also like to make this a pretty big cannon. If you catch my drift, I do want it to be a big, big cannon. Do that there and that there. That'd be a pretty good size. And then I can beef up the turret a little bit more. Let's go number 9. Let's slap on some assault cannon turrets. Because those. How does that cannon look? If I have to make them longer, I'll make them longer. But I want to see just how big a cannon we can get here. Well, it's pretty good size. That's pretty good size. The problem is when this thing lifts up and down, that's going to be the big issue. Because trying to get this custom turret to when I make it go up and down, the big issue that I'm going to have is when it goes up, when it moves, some of this is going to get in the way of everything else. So I need it to not get in the way, I suppose. We need a turret system out like this. Then maybe I'll just stack several turrets on, or several cannons on top. Might do 3 cannons. Okay, let's see how that works. I need to, first off, let's get a turret controller here. Do I have one? Doesn't seem to be in the hotbar. Okay, we're going to replace a window here with a turret controller. Where's the turret controller? Turret controller. There we are. And of course, we can make this kind of small. Let's set that there. Okay, so Smith. All right, advanced rotor battle cannon. What's the other hinge? Hold up. All right, so yeah, hinge 2. That's what we need to worry about. All right, so it's hinge 2. And we're going to try and make I didn't set that up so I could see what I was doing. I want to see if I accidentally touch anything. Okay, yeah, that'll work. That'll work. Now it's just figuring out how to make all that happen. Let's go ahead here. While I'm at it, we'll just grab all these guns real quick. There we go. Now we have a nifty little turret we can use. Does seem to be touching in a few areas, but I think I can modify the look of this thing so that it works a little better. Now the only problem is if this thing decides to bend all the way down, we are going to have an issue. Just letting everybody know. That's going to become an issue very quickly. Because of this cannon turret, I'll have to modify it so it's not hitting certain things. But we're talking triple battery assault cannon turrets. We might could probably beef this thing up into a 6-gun battery that I could fire off of salvo script. Let's try that. Well, we'll try that here in a minute. So we have a turret design. We have a turret design that is working and that I can build around. Might try to V-shape this turret just a little bit, kind of V it one way. And that way the turrets, also I need to modify the guns a bit more so they look a little different. several things to do. Let's see just how big that turret. That turret's not going to be monstrous enough. It's not going to be beefy enough. We need to beefify that turret up a little more. Which means I need to move these turrets, these cannons forward a bit. And if I double barrel them and then just build a skin around them, that makes them a single barrel each. And then set up a salvo script system so that when they fire, they just unload about 6 rounds each in a very rapid formation so that they'll just strafe a position real good. Otherwise, this will be a pretty good turret once I get it built. So this is already working like it's supposed to. Let's take this off because I know what I've got to do. I've got to have enough room to put something here and there. What kind of clearance am I looking at in the middle there? There's another idea. How much clearance do I have in the center section? Or right in that corner, we'll say. Oh, we've got a lot of clearance. I could probably add one more key block right there and then have another block on the other side. Thicken these up. This central section will be the only point where it's kind of weak, and we'll just push the cannon barrel out and add a extra layer of armament to that front. We can probably make it look kind of interesting too while we're at it. Just kind of make it look, make it a little nicer than it does right now in the current moment. So let's delete some stuff here. We're going to hang on to the turrets, but I think I'm going to widen them up a bit more. And the cannon, I think I'm going to push it out a bit more. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to have to build this after the cannon. So we'll just take this out. We know we've got to get past this at least. So we have a good cannon design. Let me think here on how to do this. One, what if we beefed it out just one more, really widen that cannon a bit. Gave the turret a nice wide zone here to fire from. And then we're going to run these turrets up a bit more. Going to add 2 each. Well, let's add one more to the middle. All right, there's that. No, whoop. No, not like that. Not like that. Another thing I want to do is I want to put these on next. Well, hold on. I can do something better than that. We'll do this. We'll do this. Because what that's going to do is I'm going to be able to put I'll be able to stack the cannons up a little bit better. There we go. We're going to add some corner blocks here on each one of these. Now let's go back and look at the guns. Now we can make the guns look kind of cool. Now, yes, I know it looks a little jank right now, but trust me, we will fix that so well here in the next couple of minutes. There we go. There, that's a little bit bigger cannon, and we can add some extra barrel length to it, and it'll just look amazing when we get done. That'll look awesome. So now, the next thing I got to do is we got to start building the upper level of this. And I think what I want to do also, just for giggles, because I always like doing things for giggles, I think what I'm going to do is we might add, let's look at turrets. Let's look at turrets, because I can probably get away with this. Yeah, see? We got one of these turrets, one of these minigun turrets here. And the cool thing about these is they actually have small little hitches here where you can hook in with small stuff. And the Gatling gun ammo will go right into the side of it. So I think what we might do is we might pull this back a bit more, up the ante a bit, and I might add 2 minigun turrets on either side, giving this thing a lot of defensive coverage. But we're gonna have to do some modifications real seriously. So where is there it is, number 3. We're gonna use the armor versions of these because dear God, that's gonna be the one way we can get this done. That's the T. And then let's put a T in here. Yeah, there we go. There was a mod that had guns like this on it with a similar concept to the guns. There we go. Look at that. Oh, that is nightmarish. It's a multi-function turret right there. We have defensive weapons and a series of auto of attack turrets. So when it starts, something comes at this thing, these will immediately begin defending it, and they look awesome. I love this stubby little turret right here. It looks like it's got the extra ammunition. Now, what we're probably going to do is this turret's going to have to come up a bit more, but this is just proving concept. I may even space them out a little bit more depending on how big the armor is. It looks like it's going to have to be pretty good size. So we may build their own little platform for those to sit on. And then we'll have this big honking turret, which has a whole lot of options to it, mind you. And the other thing I can do is I can run this sorter that we have here at the bottom, and we can force that to sort stuff up into the cannon. So this will pull it'll pull assault cannon ammo, and it will pull Gatling gun ammo out of the ship all at the same time. And then we'll have some custom autocannon turrets on here as well. So I think the next thing I should do is I should probably number 6. We'll do this right here. So I need to really we need to start building the turret. Let's build the turret. The turret's going to have to be some heavy armor, I think. We don't have that. Dang. I don't have heavy armor equipped. I don't know how heavy that'll make the ship, but we do need heavy armor for this, so it'll withstand a bit of damage. So let's go in here. We're gonna just delete all of this. There we go. We have heavy armor. Now then, I can build heavy armor to here. We're just going to coat this in some heavy armor since these are a mega turret and it's going to have to be protected severely. At the very minimum, this is the width the turret's going to have to be at. May add another 2 here to cover it. Ooh, that might be a little too close to the bridge. Do I have to go that high? No, I don't have to go that high. We can stop right about there. All right. Why is everything dark? Ah, that's why. Plus, I also need that sun back over here. Come on. Come on, Mr. Sunshine. La da 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 da. There we go. Mr. Sunshine's back over here, helping us build this gargantuan turret we have. Oops, that was the wrong way. Kind of underbuilt that a little bit. Now, the cool part is because this is just rotating on its axes, we don't have to worry about running into it. So we can just build small stuff right over there and just build around it. And that starts to help us out a lot because now that's all I got to do. Slip under here. We're going to have to really build on this a bit. There we go. Oop. There, that's some heavy armor. Defending that thing a bit. I don't know how effective this thing is going to be to turn, but probably doesn't have to be too crazy. Now, what's up, Badger? How's it going? How's the destroyer coming along? Great, Grexion. It's great. It's great. So I'm building a series of cannons. I'm trying to figure out a design for this one. And I'm going to try and do a cannon system with a fairly long barrel. Right now, I got to get this thing to where I can move it quite efficiently without it running into the other parts of the cannon. And if that works, then we'll have a triple battery cannon for this thing that'll fire. And I'm hoping I can stair step down one, which will be difficult. But if I can, well, no, I won't be able to stair step down. I guess we're going to have one big turret on top. It's going to be our one main attack turret. And the cool part is I figured out how I found a method to putting two extra Gatling gun turrets on the top of this main turret. So it now provide double duty of a heavy weapons platform, and some anti-air defense to defend this particular turret. Which is awesome. And I would like at least 2 layers of armor between everything. So we're going to beef up the front here a bit more. Let's just go ahead and just shove a bit more armor there. Now I need to modify this because I want the bottom section to kind of come around. And then over here we can just pull in something there, and then I'll add like a skirt system or something on this side of it so it'll look interesting. That way we've got a whole lot of armor protecting us from getting shot up and destroyed. Let's see here. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and just make this kind of how I want it to look, and then I'm gonna try and modify it as I go. So, I may remove this and put an armor piece here just so I can run a smaller section here. That way it'll give me a little more. Let's delete this. And delete that cannon. And delete those cannons. So I'll work with these for now. Also, I don't know. I may extend the barrels a bit more so it has a little bit more firepower. I'm not going to put anything right here. I am going to add something in this area just to provide that downward slope effect. So I can also add some armor up top and then wrap the cannons and then make them look interesting. So let me think here. I've got a lot of armor up at the top. I don't probably need this much up here. I need to start sloping the armor away. So I need minimum. I need double armor here, but not up here. So let's go ahead and slap an extra layer here on this. God, this thing's getting massive. Oh, well, let me go down for some reason. Okay, something's happened here. Come on, come on. That's what I want to do. There we go. There we go. Now then, if this is the distance I'm wanting it to go, then what I need now is to kind of work it more into the direction I need it to go. It's a bit too much. Right there. Oh, whoa. We'll have to repair that later because that's supposed to be a light block. Oh, well. Oh, well. All right. Let me think. Let me think. Let me think. Hmm. Um. Let's go with number 5 here. And what we might do, go with that first. Like so. I may have to work on that in there. Because I didn't like the way that looked. I may work on this middle section too. I want this to slope back a bit so it kind of looks more like an artillery turret of some type. But these here are just not giving me what I want. So we're probably going to do something different there. Then let's go ahead and grab this block. Can I do that there? Let's build this a little bit further out. Maybe I can make this work. There we go. That's looking cool. At least for the moment. For the moment, it looks awesome. There, that's a lot of armor to protect the front of this turret, which is what you're probably going to be running into if you're not careful. There we go. It's looking kind of nice. It's a big, massive turret. I mean, that's what's supposed to be a big, giant artillery turret that scares the crap out of anything trying to get close to the ship. I may straighten this up and pull it out a bit more. And I may let this come back. Let's do some of that there. Okay. Now, I'm doing this because we did have to build this out. I'm wanting to reshape this a bit so it looks a little more menacing. Catch my drift. All right, number 3. No, wait, no. We're going to have to do it up here. My bad. We've done that. Now let's rip a block or two out of here. All right, now number 5. No, that's not what I'm wanting. Let's see. That'll look good. We'll do that. And we'll do that on both sides. That'll thin down the turret a lot. It'll also give us that easy transition and a lot of detail work that we need. Because we're going to need that. Actually, we may just reverse that piece on the other side. So on the next part, we'll pull this loose. Spin that around. Leps, hey yo, how you doing? Oh, I'm doing great. Doing great. So currently what we're doing is I am attempting okay, yeah, that's going to be interesting right there. We're currently trying to build this gigantic turret that I was wanting as a battlement for the ship. It turns out we're probably going to be able to get away with one. So that's a bummer. That's a bummer. But it's going to be one big nice turret. Let me tell you, that's going to be one big nice turret. Okay, let's shove that there, there. I don't need this to come forward. I'm probably gonna kill this whole section right here. There is no point in having this extra set of armor on the side here. So that shortens the width of the turret dramatically. But we are going to have enough to push into the turret. Let's go ahead and build this out a bit more, like we're supposed to. That way I can keep this awesome look that we got going on. Number 3, go here. And I may add some extra ridges up on top just to make it look a little bit, cooler. Okay, and there. And but yeah, I'm doing great. God, that's an awesome looking bit of destruction right here. Considering this is going to end up becoming double battery turrets or a double battery cannon, because the bottom of this is going to be down here, and this is going to kind of give you, as you can see right here, let me turn this off here. You can see the hinge of the turret is down here. So when we double barrel this whole section's going to look like it just sinks right into the turret, and then we're going to have a whole bunch of stuff on top. I may even triple battery this thing a bit so it'll look a little bit better. When it goes off, you're going to have about six assault cannons going off at one time. And I may even take this turret and blueprint it just so I can build bigger turrets on the top. And then this is all going to come together. Yeah, but the cool part about all this is in the back here. After I've got all this built up and figured out, we're going to have 2 Gatling turrets in the back here, ready to just wreck everything that tries to get. So it's going to have its own anti-air defense for this one particular turret. So yeah, Nightmare doesn't even begin to explain this monstrosity that I'm building at the moment. It's going to be able to hurt some stuff whenever I needed to do it. So we'll do this here. Boom. That's most of that done. Let's because I do want to inset these. And the deal, what is an alarm doing on my phone? May have to tell the wife to go get the kid. Well, she gets out of school like at 8:30, so it's not that big a deal. There's that. And yeah, this is going to be a big turret here. I may try to narrow it a bit in the back because it's nice and bulky up here in the front. I may try to narrow this down, but I need to figure out where the... Let's see, I've got 5... How big is a turret? Well, the turret I want to use, at least. How big is it? Okay, it's about this big. So we can probably run it right about to here, I would think. And then I'll have to slope the back end of this giant turret up in order to make it all fit good. Let's delete some stuff here so I can see just where we can put it. We can put it right there. But I kind of want to pull it back even more than that. And then I'll have to figure out some detail work on the side. We'll have to take this one section of armor and kind of dimple it a bit, or add some sort of heavy armor or blastor block there, just to make it look more impressive. And what that'll do is we'll have automated gun turrets sitting up here side by side, ready to just rip and tear anything that gets too close. So let's, where's my one deal? We'll pull these back and just build them. There's no point in not doing it. One, let's go back two. We'll do a curve block. And then a T-junction back here like that. And let's grab our nifty little kill stick of doom here. There's one. There's two. And now we've got the full firepower of a turret with enough defensive capabilities here to just really start wrecking stuff. So the destroyer's main the main gun of the destroyer that we're going to use to hit with, and I may try to see if I can add another one somewhere on this ship, so that while we're fighting, we can open this thing up. I don't know. This gun turret looks so awesome. It may be a crime to put it here. I may disconnect it from the ship, copy it, and I'm planning on somewhere up front putting the artillery guns up here somewhere, and then having another set of defensive guns up here somewhere. And then we've got our missile batteries that are going to go in this area right in here, so we can just drop that into that position. It might be cooler to put that there and then just put some type of plate on there. I'll show you what I'm thinking about. Um, nope. Where is it at? All right, we're gonna have to go through V. Let's see. Maybe it's here we go. We'll do something because I saw this last time. Ah, B. Give me the ability to just do this. There we go. I saw this here on the Val of Valor, and you can see. Let me get this thing set up so we can just drop it into orbit here. You can see how this turret is mounted here on the side, and then we have guns on the side here. It's a great set of placements. What I want to do is I want to pull this out a bit more so we can have our missile launch system, and then we'll put this big set of guns right there on the side. So then it's not hitting anything really objective at that point, and then we can drop it in there like a minor slope at the front with turrets. Yeah, we've got the minor slope with the turrets. I'm saying take this turret platform, and where this twin artillery cannon's at, we slap it right there. So that when this thing decides to shoot at something, it opens fire off the destroyer here, and it will fire this. It'll have these giant main guns just kind of off to the side. So when it gets into position, it will just start hammering away. Then I can actually beef out some defensive turrets, probably two sets of custom CWIS cannons, and then a set of four backup Gatling cannons, just baseline Gatling turrets on each one of these. And then we will just be ripping away. Plus, also the other advantage here is if the side skirt comes down like this, I have kind of a cubby area with Gatling defense that can defend the fighters as they come in and dock. So the ship will be more. It'll have this armor plate on the top of it, and I think I'll make that out of heavy armor. It'll add some weight to the ship, But I think I'll make it out of heavy armor, and I think what I'm going to do with that is I may chuck the ion engines and I will just create a nacelled quad engine system. So we'll have 4 hydrogen engines pulling off the back. We'll have a singular hydrogen engine in the front, or just double up the hydrogen engines, like stack one on top of the other here, and then stair step them down. And I may build that'll increase the size of the destroyer a bit, but it'll have this weird look to it. But this cannon turret is just getting too. I need to get the cannon turret done first. Let's worry about that before I start doing some wild engineering feats at the moment. Let's go ahead and fill this area up here. There we go. Yeah, this thing's looking a mite nasty. There we go. And actually, just thought of something. Let me pull this out in the center. I have a plan. Let's see. There we are. Yes. Okay, that's cool. Now, what do I do here? What are we going to do here? I'm going to do something nifty. I don't know what. Let's grab the pipes. Oh, we don't have pipes that work here? Okay, what about this? Nope, that's not going to work. How long is it? Yeah, it's too big. Uh, hmm. 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 Having those side blades for the turrets leaves a central section free for interior. Yeah, I could have a lot more interior. We have to put at least enough room to put 2 fighters on this thing so it can drop its own fighter escort. Or um, if I build it, if I can, I could actually have a patrol boat mounted to the bottom of this thing so it can actually bring its own escort force into the fight. My hope is I could do 3 fighters or an escort patrol boat and a fighter. And that would be pretty cool to have on a ship like this. And it would be menacing as it come in there just to wreck everything's or every person's day as they're trying to figure out how to deal with it. Let's see here. How am I going to make this work? I like this idea. Let's take this stuff out here while I add that in. And then let me find number 8. And one of the things I can do here, booyah, adds a little more detail to it. I'll have to figure some stuff out while I'm working, but let's go ahead and let me see if I can get this back to a point. We'll have these turrets just kind of sitting here. I think the best thing to do is to, I don't know. That might work. Oh, come now. Surely it's going to work. Surely I can come up with a... Yeah, there we go. That will actually increase the distance of the slope, or at least make it look longer than it really is. So, Hold on a minute. So, we're going to make these angles work here. The hard part about this is I have to work upside down every so often, which is fun. I don't think I'll need that there. So let's go down to the next one. Boom shakala. We'll do that one. And boom shakala there. I think actually, hang on, let's do this. Where is that one? There it is. Put that there so it kind of meshes in. We'll go to number 3. Pull that. And then number 4 here. We'll see what this looks like once I get a few more pieces in. Turret's looking amazing, by the way. And we haven't even really cut into it very much to make it look even better than it does now. So let's go ahead and pull all that there. Increase the taper to an extent. What did I just do? Oh, there we go. Pushed tab. Okay, we got all that loaded up. That makes the turret look kind of a bit more interesting. Now, like I said, once we get this turret figured out and built, then I'll be able to do a lot more stuff. The side of it looks kind of dull, so I'll have to figure something out with that here in a minute. All right, we got that in place. Let's see if I can just... go to here. Boom. Just like that. So yeah, there is this small spot here that's going to be exposed, but it's going to be darn hard to get to that thing. And I think I can also just hook up because I'm going to need to use hinges to put this stuff into position, so I can get the blades exactly where I want them to go. By doing that, I think that's what what's his name did over here, if I'm correct. We're gonna cut into your ship here, man. Yeah, that there, I believe, is, yeah, we'll kind of cut that hinge out there, but that's where he hinged his ship in, and where that hinge was, that's where that main cannon went. So we're going to be doing the same thing, but with this god awful, terrifying turret of mega death. So when something comes in, we'll set these main cannons to fire at only large blocks, and these will fire at any block. So small stuff like missiles trying to take this out, it's going to have to deal with 2 miniguns at one time trying to hit it. I want to pop something out there to get shot at by it. Let's see how this works out. Firing from that position here. While I'm at it, let's go ahead and delete this because I don't want a cannon round. Okay. We got rid of 1. Now I need to get rid of 2. There we go. Now that's gone. Let's go ahead and grab a battery while I'm at it. Because it's the easiest way to get something to attack something else. Throw a battery out here. And we'll get to see how these turrets respond. To space pirates. Yeah, so now this thing will have 6 Gatling turrets that will. Oh, whoop. So, apparently one of my missiles saw that and said, "We're gonna take care of that real quick." And I've got a couple of these just freeloading out here. Apparently, he's just gonna load her on off, I suppose. Okay, buddy. You go find something to kill. Have fun with that. As the missile said on, the missile's like, "Yeah, hang on, guys, I got this," and got ready to take care of business for us. That, whoo, that would have been wild. Um, yeah. So the turrets on the back are going to work perfectly. I need to let's go ahead and we'll get this first section of blocks built in. And I'm going to do that there. And I don't know. I may come back at some point and cut some of this around. All right. We'll grab these blocks. Like I said, we have a conveyor sorter on this thing built in. So all I would have to do is attach this to our system. This is going to make things look a whole lot better. I mean, where's my lights? There we go. All right. Get the lights going. Looks like I'm going to have to cut another block out just to make all this go together. There we are. Look at that. Look at how cool that looks. Now, I guess what I could do we could round this section a bit going forward. So this whole thing kind of looks. Let's round it to there. Yeah, you can see we got that much exposure on this side of it there. And then we'll put, let me find that one block. There. Makes cannon look more interesting. And we might do the same thing up here too. Yeah, we'll do that to there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that to there. Right here, we're going to have this block in place and then just place that block. And that adds a little bit more to the turret, the way it looks. Now it looks, we're rounding it. We're cutting into it. This is the baseline concept of making things work. Because one of the things that will happen as you're doing Space Engineers, you'll notice that if you just start, where did I start that one at? Yeah, right there. If you build it first like this as a block, that's just a brick, And then, like I said, you just go into it and you just start cutting. Use the blocks that you've got and start cutting away at it and making holes, shave off pieces. It's like the old Da Vinci thing. If any of y'all ever heard the saying, the story of, I think it's Leonardo da Vinci, and someone asked him, they said, "How do you make, what was it? How do you make such a good paintings? How do you carve so good?" And old Da Vinci goes, "I just remove everything. I take a stone and I remove all of the marble. That doesn't look like a naked lady." And so that's what Da Vinci does. That's the same concept here. Make your brick, and then just start removing everything that doesn't look like a turret. It's like right there. That doesn't look like a turret. And we'll beef this up there. So it just kind of matches. And that looks good from this side. Check that out. Now the top up here will add some extra blocks up here. I've got an idea for this actually. Let me see. I think I got to go here for this block. Yeah. There we are. And there we are. We're just going to add a small rib here for some detail. No, not that. Dear Lord. Okay, how many back did we go there? We've gone back 3. And 3 on that side. 3 there. And 3 there. Like I said, just removing small stuff. I like the World War II style to the turret with Gatling turrets on the back of it. Yeah. So there's a mod called Warfare. It's one of the Warfare mods. I think it's Northwind Weapons. And Northwind Weapons, that's one of the things you can do in the Northwind Weapons pack is um you can have a turret. There's one big monster turret that every time I try to get that pack, I can't find a spot to use it on. And every stinking time I get that deal, it just doesn't work the way I want it to. Now, check that out. Now we've added a few. The cool thing about this, the Space Engineers, though, guys, is you can just take stuff off. You can add stuff on and make it look really good. But yeah, the World War II style turret, I like that look. I would think if you get into space, this is how things would kind of start looking after a while. Let's think here. We'll go here. Have a measured set of blocks there. I may actually fill that entirely up. We'll do that. Just add a bit more. Try that there. So it looks more interesting. So yeah, you see that thing there. And then, like I said, this turret, the turret is going to have more guns because we're going to have to put more guns on it. And then I'm going to have to build the barrels out. So let's do that. Let's number one, not only are we going to build the barrels out, but we also need to slap in a turret controller somewhere. Because I just realized I need a turret controller so I can tell this thing what it needs to do. So before I do that, let me go ahead. And we're going to add a couple bigger guns. go here. We're going to add a corner block to this. Can I do that? No, I can't, because apparently the system is in the way. Well, that's bad. I have to delete something here. Just so I can... There we go. Now we'll go over here, because it's not that big a deal over in this section, but this one here is probably going to give me the same issue. And I'm hoping that that's not going to interfere. It probably will. The reason I'm doing this is I want a dual cannon of death. Now it's getting terrifying. But sir, we just saw the enemy ship and has a ruthless amount of firepower on it. Oh yeah, there we go. I can get it in. I think I can get it in. Oh, there we go. We're just gonna have to spam it until it goes in. This could be good. This could go well. It could not go well. But I need to pull that turret down a bit so I can the main gun, so I can see kind of where that's gonna land. Okay. Turret controller. Number 6. Okay, we're gonna put that there. Now let me go in. Let's do advanced rotor battle cannon. Hinge number 2. We'll just throw all those in there right now. And control. Lift them up as high as I possibly can. Oh, I bet that was interesting. Alright. Cannons are up as high as possible. So there's going to be one issue here. And I may have to find a way to solve it. I am hoping that this is not going to be as big an issue as I think it's going to be. But we're going to try and fix it, because these are like a high-angle gun almost. So, number 1, let me, first off, let me put a control, something I can use to control stuff with. I'm going to slap on the controller. Something I can use to kind of watch as I move these turrets around. Button. There we go. Nice little button. And there we go. Access panel right there. Before I do that, let me, nope, that wasn't what I wanted to do. Right about here. Access that. Custom turret controller. And I should be able to control this. Let's pull the cannon down as far as it'll go. It's kind of level. So I can see exactly where I need to start building stuff onto the turret itself. So I've got areas there. Let's grab ourselves a number 7. Go about that far. How far did I take that? 4 blocks past it. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we're going to go 14 out. There we go. 14 blocks out there. And 14 blocks out there. So there we go with the first part of the main cannon turret. Now the next part, because I'm hoping that this is going to interfere a bit. So we're going to half block this in. If I can find the half blocks. Oh wait, let's do this instead. Yeah, I can do a half block, but we'll get that half block in there. Booyah, there we go. And we're going to add a little more to those turret in the front, so don't worry about that. Ooh, that's going to be terrifying to see that thing turn and swivel your direction. Okay, I need to go ahead and let's just mount up all the extra stuff here that we need for this particular side of it. Let's go ahead and mount that, and then the other side. There we go. Trying to get that workflow going good. All right, let's go on down here and get the pieces that we need. A little half measure that we have down here. One half block, 2 half blocks, 3 half blocks. Now let's do this on the other side. So only have to put 2 in here. No, no, not that, not that, not that, not that. Right there. All right. Now let's get down to boom. There's that part done. And I've got an idea for this to make it look awesome. So when this cannon fires, it's just gonna possibly scare the bejesus out of even the Factorum. And it'll look good when I get done with it. So I may also try to put some type of, I don't know, muzzle brake on the end of it. That would be nice. Awesome looking muzzle brake. I don't know. Maybe a volley fire instead of volley firing. We could. I could maybe. Could probably have it. Maybe. Siphon fire. Why did that happen? Well, fortunately, we have an eraser tool. We can erase that. Okay, so that's getting plumb stupid right now in terms of heavy firepower. It's looking good. Leps, his naval gun. It also has large underside. You have to sink in the hull. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's got a large underside. I'll figure out how to do that when I get there. Leps, like realistic ammo reloading and storage. No, what it's got is that the turret has its own uh, sorter built into it. So when it starts sorting, it'll just grab stuff. I'll just set it up to only assault cannon ammo and Gatling ammo, and it'll just pull from a storage area and just start throwing it in there.
Why not make the wave motion guns from Space Battleship Yamato using railguns?
Um, I could do that. I think the Damocles did that. I did a review on it, and it did it really good. It did the whole wave motion cannon looking thing going on. It was great. Let's see how this goes in. All right. Plus, this also gives me a lot of armor I can play around with just in case something decides to come on in and screw around with cannons. Nothing will get close to it. All right, one more, one more. There we go. Just like that. Now, the only other issue I've got right now, and I think I can solve this with a camera right up here. Oh, yeah, this is going to be an issue. So my plan was to fit another block in here, but I don't have anything that's centrally look. Oh, wait, I do. There's a centrally located block that'll work just absolutely fine for this. Get rid of that. Where is... Here it is. That'll slip right in there. I guarantee it. That will slip right in just perfect. Huh, check that out. Now that hopefully won't interfere too much, I would hope. Yeah, let's go ahead and get that one blast door block that kind of ends right about there. Do that there. There. That won't be too difficult to get in. And then one right there. And then where's my cameras? I have to have a camera here somewhere. I know I had one. Number 4. Oh, look at that. The bloody camera will actually stick to it. That's actually pretty good. It's pretty unprotected, but dear Lord, that is a nice looking gun. Now, for this end here, what are we going to do? I have an idea. Let's strip this out because I want to make this look a little bit more intimidating than it already is. Got something like this. Okay, let's see. Oh boy, that's going to be fun. So I'm going to have to play this really smart. Hmm. There's like a half scaffold block in here, isn't there? Yes, there is. Ha. Yes, I can use that. I can work with this. Let's see. Number 7 to here, there, and how's that looking? Looks pretty good, I hope. Number 9, I'm going to go ahead and put another scaffold block right there. I think those guns will shoot right through it. Now, that was about the modded turret from Leps, LOL. Grexion. On my larger ships, I have conveyor sorters going in and going out of the containers I have turret ammo in to avoid it going filled with other stuff, taking up ammo space in those containers. It's like a muzzle brake. Yeah, it's like a muzzle brake basically is what we're building here. I may go a little bit more just to give it a bit more, just to do a few more vents. So we may end up building this out quite far. Let's go back to here, like that, right there, like so, there. And if I can somehow make that come off there, like so. Oh yeah. I'll have to extend it so I can get the double port look, but that's actually pretty cool. And like I said, I'll have to extend it at least one more so we can get the ported look we want. Let's try to do that right now. Where you at? This is one thing I hate about this particular category. I love the plates, but dadgum, King did not make it easy putting these things into position. It's like the family's home. May have to quit here in a minute because my kid's gonna be could be a little loud. And of course, she'll want to tell me how her day was going too, which is fun. That battery up there is still fizzing out. Okay, here we go. 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 Just a bit more. I think this will be. Yes, the child is here. Clearly, everyone say hi to the child. I wish we could put. I wish I had something I could put inside here. Let me let me look here. Let me look here before we quit right now. Let me look. Number three. Do I have no? Up here. Let me look through here. I want to see if I've got a block. Nope, that's only for a large block. See, if I had a through block that I could shove in there for the barrels and I could color it a different color. I need a small tube that could go in there and then it would kind of look weird. Yeah, well, it wouldn't look weird. It would actually look kind of dope, but Keen doesn't make anything that small. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to work that. Okay, Lep says heyo to all of y'all. Grexion, by the way, Badger, you might seen in your Discord, but I uploaded my new Strike Fighter yesterday along with a new armament pack. Yeah, I got to look over that. I've got to look at that. I really do need to look at that. Yeah, so I think that's going to be how the cannons are going to go. This means I'm going to have to extend them at least one more block, I think. I think that's what I did. Let me see here. How far did I extend that? At least two more blocks. Yeah, the bottom didn't go up two at all. It just went up one. Okay. So now to figure out where I put those deals at here. Let's see. 2, 1. Let's go ahead and just put those in over here as well. Because I want to put 2 of these turrets on here anyway. Now I can. It also means that since we're doing it like this, we can actually have the turrets. And we'll just do this. This will just increase. This will maximize workflow real quick. Oh, I didn't put that on the bottom over there. Silly me. There we are. Okay, so now put those in. We're just going to get all this out of the way now. Here we go. 1, 2. And have a serious muzzle brake here. Actually, thinking about it, I may put all those catwalks in there. Because that'll just add more detail to the, yeah, let's do that. I'm pretty sure the cannon's not going to hit the catwalks. It'll also reinforce the crap out of this thing, so it's another plus. There we go. Plus, this is also going to, like I said, it'll add a little bit more detail to it. Gives me something on the inside I can color up. Yeah, that reinforces and makes it look better. So we're going with that. We're going with that. Then I can recolor that. It's one of those things that the Factorum will see it coming. They'll go, "Oh no, that is the." Or I don't know. What about this? I put stuff on the. Let me show what I'm talking about here. I don't know how that would go. Lup's on here, anyways. It's kind of late, so I'm a go. Gun looks good, so have fun with it. 07. Okay, 07, man. I'll see you come. I'll see you later. I don't know. We may not do that. Let's go ahead and just finish this up. Like so. And booyah. We have a Nightmare Monster Cannon. Let's see this thing fire in action. We have to test it to make sure we're not going to kill ourselves in the process. All right, let's access this for the moment. Custom controller 2. Activate control. Oh, we are having trouble moving. Oh boy. Let's see how this works. Nope. That didn't work. I saw impacts. I saw things impact. I don't think that's going to work on the end. Yep. Something's not doing what it's supposed to here. Well, all that seems to be in order. Something's in the way. Let's go ahead. Take that out. Take that out. And take those out. Let's see if the thing will move now. Because I'm having trouble picking it up. I may have to just increase the... Yeah, it's having trouble moving. Hinge 2, let's see. Uh, Increase the torque on it. Let's see if that doesn't help. Okay, yeah, that's the problem. Man, it looks like it's destroying that thing in the front. That doesn't seem to be. That's working pretty good. That's actually working pretty nicely. So now, I think the turret's pretty well done, other than maybe a couple of modifications. Oh, wait. Did I forget to put that in, or did that just get blowed up? We're not losing parts. At least I don't think we are. I may have just not put that in. I hope that's what the problem is. Okay, seems like it's all working. Let's see. All right, something's happening there. Let's try firing again. Man, it sure does look like we are firing some kind of scatter gun. Something's wrong here. I can't tell if I'm firing, if everything's making it or not. I have a sneaking suspicion it's not. I think those conveyors are getting in the way. Okay. That's not going to work. I need something in the corner. Something small. That'll fit right in the corner there so I can hold all that together. Something like that. And I know this is a jank way of doing it. It's going to add more. Also the lights. I mean, dear Lord, that's going to add some issues in its own right. Let's go ahead and just do that and see. Because it may be we've got just enough wiggle room in this thing. For that's the thing. I really don't want to use the lights to do that with. Hmm. Hmm. Is there another tiny version of the LCD screen? There is. Okay. We could apply that, I suppose. The problem is, I'm afraid, the more weird stuff I add to this, the worse it's going to get. May not be able to use the muzzle brake. May have to try something different. I mean, is there not a corner block on these that fits right in the corner that I can use? No. No, there's not. Of course there's not. Hmm. Hmm. That's creating an issue, and it's bugging me. Worst part is there's no easy fix for this. Oh wait, there is an easy fix. I'm dumb. I'm dumb. I can't believe I didn't think of that. There is an easy fix. There's absolutely an easy fix for all of this. It's called, I'm going to delete one side of this and run a whole nother set of panel blocks underneath the darn thing. Sometimes, I swear, my brain just does not want to work. There. Now, as much as I like these one blocks in here, which are pretty darn amazing, I'm not going to lie, they do look cool. Oh, what am I doing? What is that? Why is there why was there a giant set of panels out there? I don't know. There. That should work, and I should get the full effect of the cannon as well. Can't okay, don't get ahead of yourself, Badger, because once you do, you're gonna do the thing where you accidentally delete more than what you wanted to delete. And that would be a problem. Like I said, I'm just a little miffed that we're not getting the full potential out of the cannons. Okay. That's a little better. Let's see how it shoots this time around. That's much better. Oh, yeah, that's way better. That'll hurt. Let's see how bad that hurts. Let's test that theory. Need one layer of heavy armor. Should be a nice test for this thing. Now, what's going to happen is we're going to be dropping kind of at an angle, too. Missed. Tilt up a little more. See how this hits. No, missed again, right underneath it. That thing's not that high off. One's off. What the heck? Why didn't I put that thing where the cannon? Oh, it's just underneath the cannon. Okay. Put it down here. Kind of tilt it like that. There, and we'll just delete this out of the way. What I want to do is I want to see just how effective double barrel cannons are going to be when they slam into the target. Ooh, what did that do? Very little. We're not ripping a hole in it. Because, yeah, it's heavy armor. It's going to take a little bit to punch through it. I want to see what it has, what it's done to this thing, though. Oh, wait. No, I got damage on. If we can land a few more shots, even heavy armor, that pretty much crippled it. If it was a component, this would have been this would have been nightmarish. Yeah, that works. That works beautifully. So we're gonna have two of these monsters on either side of the ship. So okay, I need to cut this out somehow. Let me we'll end up cutting it out of the ship here. And then I'll just delete that one block and then we can just set this joker right in there. At least I think. Okay, all that's done. Now let's cut that out. That's a wicked looking turret right there. Yes. Now this thing will be canted onto the side of the ship. So we'll have several of them. So now I'm just gonna, let's see, we'll delete this guy here. And there we go. We have a series, we're gonna have two of these mounted on either side pulling. What if you combine assault cannons and railguns and turn it into a dual type turret? Really, right now, really, Grexion, I can tell you, if I wanted, I could have turned this into a small block railgun. It'd just be a small block railgun turret. Because I believe, if I'm correct on this, I believe, yeah, railgun's only two block. The small block railgun's only 2 blocks high, so you could just turn this into a railgun turret, and it would just fire railgun rounds. You'd have some with a 1,400-meter range, but both of these have 1,400-meter ranges, and this will fire double up. I don't want to put railguns on a destroyer unless I'm going to build the railguns into like a main rail battery in the front of the destroyer so that when it fires, it just opens up with railguns. And what we're doing with this is we're building a long range vessel, which its main armament is going to be a series of missile launchers inside of here. So the turrets are bad A. I like this turret. I'm gonna keep this turret. After I paint it up and maybe add a few more detail blocks to it, figure out how to make it look impressive than it already is. Let's go ahead. Let's grab the. Let me see about this. Yeah, let's grab this here. Okay, that doesn't do anything. Could add one of these back here to the back end of it, kind of, curl it in a bit. And it looks good in its own right. So I'm going to keep it as is. Hopefully that ain't moving right now. So yeah, I got that. We got the turret figured out. We just need to probably mount these a little bit further up and then have a shelf system coming across where we can have a few more Gatling turrets, one custom set of Gatling turrets, and a regular two Gatling turrets here, or some custom flat cannon maybe, and then have regular turrets in the back, and that'll give us a full coverage. That way it can defend itself from missiles and stuff quite efficiently. And we also have those two main cannons. So when this thing forward faces into another enemy, the main cannons will just lock onto them and start just hammering away with them. And then we can also control the cannons while we're at it. So it's not that big a deal. Ah. Plus, I can also go inside the control panel inside this turret, and I can start modifying everything in it to make it all work good. So then the guns will operate well, the system will operate well. Yeah, it's gonna this is gonna hurt something when I get it out there and get it to working on it. So we got that done. Since I no longer need that stuff. Let's go back to our original blocks that we had. And now, probably say the next thing we're going to have to get done, let me see here, is we're going to have to cap off this section here. And I think that's where this area is going to end at, is right about here. Because then we have to get to a position. I think I want the F302s to come in from this area. And we've got enough room here to put a serious amount of equipment here. We can do one more room after this wall, which will be probably what I want to do is an armory, a small one, and then also do a bunk room. So we can have a series of bunks. So you can have a bunch of people inside and have them do, and you can have a bunch of players in here. And then, oh boy, then it's going to be right after this cutoff. We're going to have plenty of room to put in as many missile launchers as I can fit in this thing until we get to the very end here. And I'm thinking I've got room. Yeah, so we could mount, if we're using three, let me see how much room I got here. So if I put a thruster here in the front, we're going to need at least one block for the front of the thruster to cover it. And then one, two, three blocks there. And then let's say to about there maybe. That'd be 21. And I want to say that means I could put 8 launchers. That's correct. One area for the launch battery. Welder, that's one. Two, three, four, 5, 6, 7. That is 14. That is 14 missiles that this thing can just blitz an enemy ship with. Like we're talking missile destroyer now. That is every time we fire off a missile, several of them go off, just reactivate the placement, and then just weld them back up. Actually, I tell you what we might do. We might, because we're going to have this big shelf covering this area, it will probably be better off to apply a cargo crate back here underneath, semi-exposed, so that we can store all the equipment to fire this off. Because we're talking, holy crap. We're talking, holy crap, number of missiles here. Mobile ICBM platform, more like a mobile ice. Yeah, it'd have an ICBM system, but it would just be a. I mean, we're approaching battleship levels of missile launching. 14 Mako missiles or Mako Mark IIs being just blitzed as they're launched. The kicker is I don't have an ability to. I can't just fire off. I wish I could fire them off individually so they could just pop out. But that means this thing can just constantly be firing. So when you fire off a missile from the ship, every time you're going to hit crap, that means this thing's going to need two. Shoot, I can't do that because this thing is going to need two. Oh boy. So here's a problem. If I start launching these missiles out of here, 14 of them at a time, I don't have a bar on here big enough to launch them with. I'd have to launch them in. I would need an entire 2 pages to fire each missile individually. And then I would also, because of the distance needed to fire them, I could probably also fire them off if I limited them to 6 apiece. I could then fire them in. I could fire them off in sections, so that when they're launched out of the tube, they're not bumping into each other too much. It gives them enough space that they can fly around each other. So what I'm saying here is I could build the system over here, and we have one tube fire here, and then another tube fire here. And that's where the friggin' tubes are going to be at, right about in here. And we could also dip this down a bit so I could put a ridge in the middle. And that's where I could put I can put some guns there. I can put a lot of stuff there. And just have it do some retaliative effect. But then like to give you just let me change this to yellow real quick. So you can see just exactly how much we can get a visual representation of what this is going to be like. And I think yeah, so that's just 6. I think I spaced a little too far here. Let me fix that. That's just 6, but I think what I did was I accidentally spaced it too much. That'd be 14 miss. That's what most of the destroyer is going to be. That's where most of the weapon systems are at. That's where that's where a lot of those missiles are going to be coming from. That's going to be holy crap. It may be too. And here's another problem I've got with this is if I launch like I was planning on this having about 8 missile tubes to fire missiles from. This is going to be about 17. There is an issue when you start lobbing too many AI blocks into the system. I may be better off cutting this down to maybe 12 because with this many AI missiles flying in there, that could cause the system to crash because that's what I've had happen before. We're looking at holy crap. The Strident class frigate from Halo. Yes. Grexion's right. It's starting to remind him of the Strident class. Yeah. We're gonna be able to just chuck stuff at a problem. I've got 99 problems, but missiles will not be one of them. Like I said, this is the main armament of this ship. So when it starts unloading, this is going to get rough for another vessel very quickly. And I seriously think I think I could mount all of the missiles into a singular system with one um I could do the entire system with just one projector block and crap will be flying. Get even more stupid, I could probably turn that center spine right there into a freaking missile launch section as well, and I'd just have a crap ton of them. The kicker is, how would I launch all of them at once? You'd have to go through each panel. Like I said, once you start chucking missiles like that, idea, what if you make a carousel where you have different types of missiles so you can choose which type you want before launching? Problem is, that's going to be a lot more programming than just doing this. And the other thing is, as a ship is turning, it's going to get smacked as it tries to dodge. It's one thing to fire a missile at a target that's stationary. It's a whole different battery to fire a missile at a target that's moving. Because, and one of the things inside of working here, most of the missiles I've shown off hitting stuff have been at stationary targets. So when the missile flies out there to hit something, it zips in to the area where the target's at, and it hits one spot and it just constantly hits the same area. That's where they all go until one of them hits something else and then they start targeting different things. The problem with a ship that moves is as it's trying to hit you, it's got missiles coming in from all directions. So when the missiles are coming in from multiple directions as they're coming in and your ship is turning against them, they're still targeting that one spot, but then they start smacking other areas of the ship. Eventually they start damaging things. And the cool thing about the Mako, the way it's designed, is something interesting. I think Luca the guide mentioned, which was by putting the warheads further back on the ship, the impact of the missile actually punches a hole in the ship and detonates inside the armor, causing instead of a surface level explosion, it rips it from the inside out and knocks a giant hole. And the fact that I can build these things rather cheaply and they can just build up an arm up real quick means that once you launch one of these things out of there, this thing pops out too. Plus, the missiles that we've been firing before off the platform over here, the missile platform I have over in this direction. Let me fly over here and I'll show you. These missiles we've been flying only have about half charge of hydrogen when they launch. When the way the system is set up, this will be activated. When this turns off and the system detects, it will turn off the holder as well, or I'll just set it all up to the same button. And once it launches that missile is going to take off. Then I just turn it back on. Or I set up a system in place to where I can just push one button and it'll start refilling all of the units after they're launched. And we're talking a god awful amount of heavy fire coming out of this. Plus, I can also do a trench right in there to move around. I was thinking about it just now. There's just enough room here to do kind of a trench for the missiles. And I could carve this section out for the missiles right here. I don't know. See, I think at 7, it might be best to do two. I'll have to have another 2 pages, but we'll do 2 pages for cluster fire where the missiles I can launch 6 missiles at a time, which will be more than enough to fire back. It'll be easy to rebuild those back up, and I still got missiles in reserve. And then just have another 2 pages, or just have 2 pages where it's just individual missile fire. And then I'll number the tubes on here somehow. Somehow I'll number the tubes up so we know which tube does what. And I'll put that somewhere on one of, and I'll set that as its own separate system to do that. Problem 1, Clang. Yeah, that's why I'm hoping I can do this with just 2 rotors. If I can do this with just 2 rotors, oh yeah, this will be easy. If I had the unified grid in Space Engineers 2, which my computer can barely run, this would be simple. By the way, Badger, the next update, AI Offensive will be able to trigger stuff like the AI Defense can now, which will make building AI missiles a lot easier. Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be awesome. Now, if I could just get this thing to fire on its own, well, I could probably do that once it detects and just have the system tell it what to do. But yeah, that's what we're looking at right here. That will be, ooh, that'll be fun. Let's throw this back to defaults here while I build this up. We may also add a turret down here. I don't know. I may add a custom autocannon turret or something like that, but right now I think this is where the cutoff is going to be. So let me just lock this in here so I know not to go any further. And what I'm probably going to do is we're probably going to have a direct kind of slope off, kind of a regular sloping out of the ship, and then I'll put the one stuff in there so we can have those blades on the side of it. That'll make it all work out and look good. With that, I can make my missiles with one less timer block. Oh, yeah, that's nice. You can do that, couldn't you? So I think what we're gonna do, we're gonna settle the missiles for about 12. because then 12 is still more than enough to threaten another ship with. And when that missile comes in and smacks the hell out of another vessel, it's going to do a lot of damage. And they're going to be a nightmare to have coming at your ship at the whole time, especially when this thing can just build up another one and fire away. The other ship is going to have to do something with those. And if those missiles start hitting, they're going to start crippling systems. So the enemy vessel is going to go down at some point. It is going down, whether it likes to or not. Whether it wants to do it or not, you're going down. So the next issue here is I got to build the system on how this is going to work. Let's go back over here and see how the welders are operating. Hmm. Well, this is interesting. Well, wait a minute. No, we're probably not going to be able to pull that. Well, no, I could probably. No, no, it's not gonna. No, I can do it. It will pull the. I don't know. That's an issue. I may need four. If I need four, that's going to change the whole game up a little bit. Let me go back and check if we got four. I thought that thing would only take like three. Okay, let's try it by fours. What am I doing? Am I putting four? Yeah, one, four, three, four. So let's see, how many is that altogether? That'd be 10 missiles. Let me check. Yeah, that's 10 missiles. That'll do. Yeah, 10 missiles will work. Now I need a central shaft in there to run as much of the system as I can through it without running into the other problems that could occur. But yeah, that 10 missiles, yeah, that gives me plenty to work with. So that's like what, five, and then I can do some other stuff to make the system work really good. Like how the VLS subsystem looks. VLS subsystem. VLS. Okay, my brain just crapped out and said, yeah, I don't remember what that means. I probably know. My brain's just telling me, my brain just said, no, we're not doing that today. I don't know why. See, we got the room for these. I guess we're going to stop at like 10 missiles. So, first things first. Number 9. I wonder if I can get away with a half block. We're going to try and start the missile launch system. There's one. I also need room to build all this stuff with. Okay, so there's our first 5 missile launchers. Let's just go ahead and do this the fast way. There we go. There we go. Let's coming together now. See, the one thing I'm really worried about at the moment is how long all this is going to be. And that's bothersome. I wonder if I shouldn't put those missiles a little closer together. Hmm. That would help the system a bit more, I think. We'll let's go ahead. Complete all this. After doing that, we'll go ahead here and I'll first off run this stuff in. Now then, let's there we go. And I'll run a central shaft through the middle of it just to make it all fit in good. But that gives us room for conveyors. That gives me room for the conveyors. That gives me room for most of the systems in place. And I don't know. I may attempt to do this with two hinges, and because the hinges, I can lock those in place better. Vertical launch silo. Oh yeah. I feel really dumb now. I forgot that. In my opinion, I'd suggest having a rotor for each missile. Yeah. If I do that, I need to turn the launchers around or the launch doors. Yeah, let's do that. We're just gonna turn the launch doors around because I'm trying to make it simple so I don't get a clang, but in reality, I'm probably going to get a clang regardless. So, because we are building two giant blades on the side of this ship, just there. Now that means I can have this will be the launch tube. This here is where the rotor is going to come up, and I may. Let me look here. I gave myself a lot of play. Let me fly in here and see just how massive that is, real quick. Do that and that. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can just set that rotor right there. And then the other issue is, well, let me try something here. I need to see. Can I do this from here like that? Right, both of these guys, I need to turn them on. I gotta see if I can do this. Okay. Okay. It'll build the missile. If I also put a half block in the bottom of it, casual bot, hey, how's it going today? Oh, it's going great. We're working on the missile system. We've done built a turret, and I've decided I'm going to put it on the blade sections of the ship. We're going to have two blades going down the side of the ship for just defensive capability. And we're going to have two hex barreled assault cannon turrets that'll have a 1,400-meter range. That'll just smack things that's going in. Right now, I'm trying to see how I could fix this in. Now, if I half block this, let me look for a rotor here while I'm at it. We'll see a rotor. Rotor. There we are. Rotor. See how that's going to look here. Now, if that's the case, I can put that rotor right about here. I will have, I could then drop the missile down just enough that I could weld the entire thing up. And then when we send it in, it'll just launch right out the tube and go where I need it to go. Let me read one more here. I'm free if you want some help with those missile silos. Yeah, I got it. I got it. It's not usually if I need help, it's because I don't know how to do something. This is just planning. This is the part of space engineers I love doing. Where I'm like, okay, yeah, we're gonna do this and we're gonna figure out how to make it work. So we're in the stage of space engineers that I am absolutely having a blast with at the moment. So now, first things first, let's install all the welders. Not like that. Okay. Here goes one. And then there goes two. One, two. Two. Wow, I didn't realize. Oh man, that's gonna be a lot. This thing's gonna push the welding capability of any ship I've got. This is gonna be something that we can't just pull out there and just use all the time. This is gonna be its own personal ship. Cause some servers. Oh yeah, well that's all of them then. All right. Okay, so we have all that done. Now, where's the rotors? And I'm gonna have to, when I grab these. Now we need advanced rotors because I think I'm gonna put it right there. Because then I can just keep things welding up as we go. Oh boy, I'm gonna need something in between there. Let's go ahead and run that piping real quick because I need piping. I need piping. Okay. Let's see. We're gonna need to run the pipe. Let's run some pipe here. That's what she said. We're gonna use armor piping here. There we go. Okay, now what that's going to do is it's going to give me the piping I need to set some stuff up. Let me set one here. Oh, I don't want that there. Oh, dang it. See, this is why you got to start doing certain things at certain times.
Let me see. You can save on welder by making the rack of rotors holding the missiles on pistons so they pull the whole rack through like 3 sets of welders. Then pistons push out and line the missile with its cap. Yeah, the problem is their casual bot. I'm worried about a freaking clang. And the issue I just ran into right now is I can't use these systems like this because I plan the missile that I'm using is small enough that I can easily get it into position. Actually, that's going to work out better. That's going to work better because now all I've got to do is run one singular line across the system. Oh, that works better. That is better. All right. We need one line. Actually, let's go ahead here. See how far in are we going to have to go? We're going to need to go at least to here. So, where's my big, heavy hydrogen thruster? We're going to put this big boy right here. And then I'll just build that front up a little bit. Make it look a little, probably slant it a bit, make it look a little cooler. Okay, so we got that in place. Let me yank that out, and we're going to run one line. Or I'm going to start running a line back. Okay, where's that next spot where that's going to go? Okay, right there. Let's just put a cargo container right here, or a conveyor, obviously. That way I can run hydrogen to this. And like I said, I'm probably going to make two big giant hydrogen nacelles and push them out the back end, have them go out the rear bit. Actually, if I just did hydrogen, I should have done a series of hydrogen nacelles and just stuck with that instead of the engines in the back of the ship. I could still do that actually. Let's see, how big would the nacelles have to be? Oh, wait a minute. I was just thinking here. Hmm, there's an idea. How long do I need a... Let's see, the hydrogen nacelle system that I use, well, it runs on the small blocks. What if... So here's what I need. That's going to be for each nacelle. If I were to reconfigure the engines here for a nacelle system, I would need roughly that much room. Let me copy here. Two, three, four. That's roughly what you need. Yeah, that's roughly what you need for a hydrogenous cell. So it's 20 blocks long. How about you? How long are you? Let's go from here to back. So that's what we'd be looking at from there. Would be a hydrogen nace. That's one hydrogen nacelle. That's the length of it. That's the internals you're working with a hydrogen nacelle system, which would be honestly a lot more difficult to take down. And that's enough for and that provides, let's see, how much thrust would that provide? One, two, three, four hydrogen thrusters. How many hydrogen thrusters does it take, chap, to small hydrogen thrusters to equal a large hydrogen thruster? Because one of the reasons I'm looking at this right here is I need to figure out how we're going to put this system in, and I've got an idea that I'm about to lose my mind sitting here trying to figure out how to do that and make this destroyer. It just give it that little bit more um it give it a little bit more capability. But yeah, this way this would make the destroyer that much harder to kill because even if you blew up one of these tanks, it's only going to destroy the stuff around it. And then at the same time, we can have it set to about that size. Mind you, this triple rack right here is also big enough. Let me find it. Where is it? I know it's here somewhere. It's big enough for a. You could do a bank of these for ion thrust. Several small ion thrusters. So we'd have what, two large ion thrusters on each side's worth of power. So we have the same thing we got. We'd just be shrinking down the ship's profile a bit more and making it look a little cooler. Because I've got a crazy idea. And I'm about to the point of just trying it. We're going to keep that here just for a later date. Because I've gotten some inspiration and I kind of want to consider it. Because if I can do that, I can take that completely out of the ship and we can rework the front end of this thing for something else. Or I'll just have this front end of the ship just to play around with. Let's go back here. here's an idea. Let's go ahead and start. I've got an idea to make this go a little faster. We'll do this because then that will just let me lock in everything I need to lock in here. And we'll go number 3 here. There's a half block. Half block. Because then I can drop that missile down just a tad bit more. Just a eensy bit more. And I can drop the missile down so that it all fits in just perfectly. Boy, come on now. Then while I'm at it, this'll. Whoa, 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 wait a minute. That isn't right. That one didn't go in the right spot, clearly. Now we're talking. Okay, now putting the rest of the stuff in, it should be easy. There. Okay. So this means, so how I can make this work is first, I need to configure a missile launcher that will launch the missiles first off. I need to configure that, if I'm looking at this correctly. Like right here, the missile goes up and then it goes that way. We need to take this down at least one. And I think that'll simplify the system a whole lot more. Plus, with that extra space down there we're not messing with, I can just drop that a little bit more. Then with the welders, we just have them on constantly so that when the projector system turns on, it projects up the entire missile. We get the whole missile, not part of the missile, the entire missile. And then I can just turn this sucker on and turn it loose. And they should launch right out of the tubes, no problem, with the way they're designed. We'll have to figure out. Actually, I tell you what. No. We'll do this. Let me back over here because I need to take. I need to put down all of the rotors. Because the rotors. I need to take all the rotor heads off. And replace those with small rotors. There we go. That is removed. That is removed. And I also need to rename all of these as well. So that if any repairs are to be made, there is no confusion. I don't accidentally delete or accidentally turn part of this into a turret, and I'm trying to figure out why all of a sudden I'm hearing a clang in there, but my stupid turret is not turning and doing what I want it to do. Well, yeah, I am using that because the Mako, for one thing, the Mako is a pretty powerful missile in the first place, the way it's built. I am going to be using it as the main missile for this ship because it's more of the lines of if I want a much bigger missile, I'll put like a bigger missile on something. That's kind of the go-to missile for the entire ship. And plus, it works really well so far. So I've kind of built something, I built a missile I'm really happy with. If I make a more advanced missile, the only thing I'll have to do is just design it to this system here, to this launch system, and then just replace the blueprint with the new system, and then it'll all weld back in. Right now, I want to see if I can build a missile that I can add to all of this that'll let the Mako just fire off. If the Mako can get out of here, I can just build another missile similar to the Mako, and I can build something bigger. Is what I'm saying. If you get what I'm saying, I understand the concept of hey, we need to turns on. Plus, I can also put a block in here so that when I turn the welders on, the silos open up, or when I turn the welders off, the silos open up. They're ready to go, and they'll just fire. Okay, so first off, all of these rotors. Boy, where's the rotors at? Why do I have ion warfare? Why is some of this stuff in? Oh, I remember now. The what? Oh, caps lock is on. There's an eye there, isn't there? Is there an eye? I can't remember. Well, we'll just go with it. There we go. We gotta go through 10 of these, so bear with me, folks. But we need all of these. Whoa, what was I thinking there? How'd that happen? You can tell I've been live streaming for a minute. I may have to swap games here, y'all, because this is getting we're getting there at the moment. There we go. There we go. I may take a break here in a minute. All right, there we go. All these are now missiles. So we can add rotor heads to all of them. Let's see if I can just add them all at once. Add small rotor heads. There we go. Now, rotor lock all of those. There we go. So now we have the small rotor heads attached to the system. We have to reconfigure the missile so that I have to reconfigure its direction that it's going to fly so that when it takes off out of there, I can cause it to turn into a direction I want it to go. Now here comes the fun part. I'm going to have to figure out how to build the conveyor system going up and to here and get that missile in exactly the right spot. So we're going to go back over here. to our missile launch bay. Our here. I'd recommend making a 2 block, 3 block wide missile because then you can use the corridor block as a guide and they can still be welded up by the welders. Yeah, the problem is I also added armor to the Mako because it turns out a little armor on a missile will allow it to punch right through something. So it'll get right into a target zone. So let's go ahead here. Before I get started, and I'm going to just delete this one section here. We'll delete this singular missile because we're going to use this as a test bed for our next missile launch. Okay, we're going to do 1 block here. And then number 3, we're going to do that. So I can still set the missile down inside of it. Now, the next part, number 3, we're going to pull out the advanced rotor. I'm going to pull out the advanced rotor. Son of a gun, I swear. I bet I know what's going on here. Yep, that's what I thought. Oh. All right, delete that. Now, all I need to do, first off, I need to find out where that rotor is so I can start adding the missile in where I want it. Now, they're all named the same thing. Add a small head, rotor lock. Are the rest of these rotor locked? No, they're not. Okay, so let me try something here. Ah. All right. Let's just see if we can come straight off here. Actually, we'll do it like this. We'll just do this cheaper because I don't need an entire system telling me how to do this. Well, frick. Yeah, I do need an entire. I do need to do that because I have to make sure that when I do this now, it'll be done properly. Okay, how many blocks are we coming off here? Let's see. How many blocks do I come off? 1, 2, 3, 4. We are about that limit. So then the next thing I need is one of these guys. And I think it'd be better just to use this. And then I'm going to need number 9, which will be my one deal on here. Now, what I need to do, let's grab the Mako here. I'm just going to copy this real fast. And this should work. Oh, it's not. What's holding us up here? Let's see. Am I not high enough? Okay, yeah. So we're probably not high enough. Let's escape from here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take it up just one more. Maybe that'll give us what we need. And I won't have the problems I'm going to run into here in a moment. Three. Nine. And then V, bring the missile out. And still not doing what I need it to do. Wait, hold up. Maybe it's not the missile. Aha! Success. Now, we have to see what happens when this missile is launched. Now, when I launch this thing, depending on where it's at, let me see here. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to put the we're gonna have to put the one thing in place. I forgot about that. I forgot about the danged where is it? Where is it? Where's the projector? Okay, the projector is probably not here right now, so let's go into G. And let's take the text panel off. Find us. Okay, it's up here somewhere. I know it. There we are. Starting to remember where everything's at. Again. There we go. Now then. Grab the blueprints. I believe. Well, that went better than I thought it would. Um. Well, that wasn't what I wanted. That wasn't what I wanted. Dadgum. So we've built a missile on top of the missile. Ah, that. Oh boy, I'm getting tired. I am so getting tired. Okay, no, we're not doing that. Let's see, how much of it did it build up? Built all but that. We may need to take it up like one more. What is the height difference right here? I want to know. All right, where that's at, let's go over here and see just how high this is compared to that one. Ooh. That is just about right where we've got that at. We could probably come up one more block. I think that will help. Let me take this off right here.
Remove that. I need to shut these off. Let's turn that one off, and then we'll turn that one off. Okay, so there we go. So it's 64 and 65 on there. We're gonna go up one more. Because one, two, three. We need our conveyor. Our holder. One of these, and then I'm going to have to modify this so it'll be in the right spot every time. Okay, we need to... Nope, not that. Horizontal offset. Nope. Forward. That appears to be all we needed to do. Yep, Mako's in full size. So the Mako is sitting here ready to go. We've got the Mako built. It's in position now. Okay. Here comes the fun part. Now to set this bad boy all up. Let's see. Let me look here. It should be a different one. My God, we have so many of them. Oh my God. Oh, they're all small merge block too. Okay. We're just going to go in here. And I am just going to set this as... Because I should be able to find the small merge block. We're going to set this up as... test. So I can find it. I'll do some other configurations later. All right. Toggle that block on and off. So yeah, this should be fully operational, I want to say. Okay, so let's turn both these welders back on. Now, how we do building? Oh, that's a complete build. That completed everything. Awesome. Now let's fire. And there goes the Mako to do Mako things. And we just simply... Okay, merge block off and on. Well, we got it back. Where's my blueprint? Okay, let's go back to this. Let's see. Oh, do it again. Keep projection. That should do it. Okay, we've got it back on. May have just been my
All right, it may have just been my problem. Let's fire off. There we go. And that missile takes off in the direction it's supposed to go. So we also have so now I can build the Makos. I just need them to turn in a specific direction when they are overridden. Now, if they're being overridden going, depends on the override uh, settings on here. Let me see. One of these sensors here. Okay, this one is for the thrusters. Okay, override control on. Well, then here's the question. Which way did it override? Let me go check the missile gyroscope here. Okay, so that's the roll override. Which means if it's rolling and it's rolling that direction, what would I need here? Pitch or yaw? Probably pitch. Now, here's the fun part. Which direction does it need to pitch? Let's go here for a second. We'll turn off the button here. Hold up. Just hold on. And what I'm going to do is we're going to do the first change here. And the gyroscope, since it is off, I'm going to activate override controls because it's on at the moment. We're going to disable the roll. I'm hoping it's y'all, because otherwise it's just going to spin. Let's do 32, like we had before. Turn off override. And then I'm going to just grab this missile real quick. I'm going to copy it. That's an issue. And let's go ahead and take these real quick. Nope, not that one. This way. I'm going to put these as test welders. I know it's spelt wrong. Just give me a sec here. This is just for expediency. We'll be able to toggle those off and on now. And now I should be able to turn that back on. And I might be able, we're about to see here. There. Okay.
And I can't tell if we did anything. Hmm. Okay, what happened? We have this in the position it needs to go. Let me see. What else do I have on here? Let's see. Automation timer block is going to come on. Okay. Fox Force start. Gyroscope override controls on. No, it should have kicked on. Whoops, that's not right. Okay, override controls are on. Automation timer block. Let me check the setup actions. Override controls off. All this stuff come on. Oh, wait, that's right. That's right. We need the gyroscope to turn on. I don't need it to come on here. I need it to come on over here. This is where we need it. Setup actions. Okay, we got number 2. And then we're going to have the block turn on. Copy this again. I really ought to build some type of facility for all of this crap. Oh, that's not active. Turn that back on. Here we go. All right. Missile didn't turn last time, so we're about to figure out how this is going to go this time around. And launch. And nothing happened. Huh. Why is that not working? All right, event controller. Nothing's happening in the event controller, so let's remove that. Let me go back here. Go to automation sensor 2. There. Do it there. That may be what the problem is. I may be having issues. Let's see if I can just turn this on from here.
Okay. All right. Should work this time around. And launch. Hold on. Mayhaps the gyroscope is not turning enough. Because I just noticed. Copy missile one more time. This might do it. Probably going to end up with a whole. This will open up another problem, I'm quite certain, but. Oh, dang, that was dang near instantaneous. But it took off. It's going the right direction. Oh boy, it's going the right way. It's just not. It's hmm. Why in God's name? Info. Let's see. Sensors field range. Ah. Wait a minute. Which one of these has the sensor field that I want? Wait, it should be this one. Wait a minute. Why can't I see that? That the one that's changing? Which is changing here? Okay, that's our sensor field range. Now, let's look at the actions here. When no longer detecting. Okay, so that should do what I want to do. Let's try this one more time. Okay, let's fire this one more time. The sensor field range should. It is overriding as soon as as soon as the system is engaged. That is not supposed to happen. Okay. It should be when it no longer detects things. Oh wait. That might help. that might help. That might help a lot. So for those of you that don't know what was going on, so I can tell you how this problem was solved, it's engaging the missile too quickly. Okay, this should do it. Nope. Oh, wait. I have this set to a station. It's not detected to station. This is a station. It's not that. That makes more sense. I'm gonna have to. I'm hoping I can finish this before I have to go. I do have to go here in a minute, but we're gonna see if we can't get this thing to work. So I'll have all this information saved, and it's just a blueprint in the system to make it all work. Okay. All right, it should work now. It's detecting station. What the frick? The other ones don't do this. Do they? No. They reach a point and then they turn. What in the world? Well, one of them tried to take out the other one, but okay. What is different here? Let's see. Um, it's set into the no longer detecting category. So why? All right, set up actions. We have the override controls are turning on. It's turning on like it's supposed to. It's just not, for some reason, we're not getting a detection, which is weird. See, I've got this trigger upon detection, but it's not supposed to trigger this until it doesn't detect it anymore. I can't figure out why the sensor is not detecting it. Let's see, turn that off, turn that off, turn that off. We don't need it to detect subgrids. Let's see, detect that and stations and large ships. Oh, wait. Oh, I'm so stupid. I know what the problem is. I know exactly what the problem is. The problem is right here. The override controls are on constantly. God, that is the problem. That is the problem. I bet you this is going to solve it. We're going to copy it. Let's take it over. This is going to solve the problem, everyone. I'm pretty sure it will. Badger says right before everything goes to crap once again. Right, there we are. And launch. Yep, there we go. It launches perfectly. So now we've got the missile set up how it should run. Let me Copy in another one. And I'm going to set myself to this thing. And we'll see how it goes. Oh, that's almost level. Just let it go. There it is, folks. The Mako is able to be launched. So now I have to rebuild this. Actually, I need to set this thing up first. I need to set the new Mako as what I'm trying to get it to do, which is what this Mako now is. I need this missile system to then be loaded into that. Cut this off there. And I think I can just quick load all these systems up. I need to first get it to where it will print up a missile. And then, dear Lord, each one of these I'm gonna have to set the things in there individually so I know which ones to launch. Actually, as far apart as they are, they shouldn't run into each other. Because let me see here. How much room do I have in the middle here? Yeah, I'm gonna have to launch them individually. I'll have to set each one of these to a different system and then set it to where I can turn them back on. I'll need a separate launcher to or a separate button to turn them all back on at the same time. So we've got the missile set up the way it's supposed to launch. So when I turn this on, and it should be clear enough from it. Let's see. Now for a door. Now, let's just the complete missile is done. Oh, heck yes. And now let's go ahead and open that door. Turn off welders. And there it goes. Now that one went that way because I'm using the old blueprint. But now all I got to do is put that missile into this system, turn it all on, and with all of the materials that we have, now it is going to require me to blueprint or figure out what it is I need for the frickin' missile to launch. We're going to have to add a large cargo container to the ship, which will be fine. Okay, that will be awesome. Because then the large cargo container can just carry all the equipment we need for that particular weapon system. Then we can just weld up multiple missiles and just start chucking them at the problem. I mean, literally, we're going to be able to just chuck missiles at the problem until the problem goes away. Okay. Until I start seeing the problem go away. Now I can just, now it's just like, we've got the system set up. So I just turn this on. The missile is printed in its entirety. And it launches out of here like it's nothing. We're going to be able to launch this missile out of, we'll be able to launch this one out of it. No issue. So let's see how the other one launches here. Because we got the other missile. Why can't I, Oh, this is in the way. Let's put a missile in here first. At least we know it'll go in. And now 9. Go back to this. And then open that back up. And off it goes. It works. This is the closest to the same setup we have at the other area. And now that you can turn this on and fire it, it'll just go in there and hit a target. Let's see. Try using a launch timer block instead of an event controller that turns it once the H2 tank is full. Um, I am using a timer block. The timer block's gonna like turn it, and that way we're not gonna use a block that'll do that. We're just gonna load up some ice. The plan is to have the ice hopefully loaded and then commence firing. I am going to make an interesting Corvette at some point in time. That's a little more involved for people to operate with. But right now, this system in itself is more than capable of firing a missile, and we will be able to fire 10 of these out of a destroyer. Meaning, we're going to try and test this thing. I'm going to break a system in here, turn off a couple of one deals so we can see where we're going. Let's see. What all I'd have to do now is just hook the new Mako up, actually. Let's do that. We'll blueprint this as the new Mako. Might as well just get that done. Where is the missile? Come on, it can't be this far down. Okay. So we replaced that one. Let me go over here and just replace this here. It's connected? Yes, it is. Let's go ahead and see. This will be the last test run here. And missile away. That worked out beautifully. Let me hit this up again. That'll work. I could fine tune it a little more. Missile launches very easily. So we got the missile working like it's supposed to. That now it's working. Now we're launching and just sending targets into an area as I try to figure out more stuff I can do to this destroyer and make it better. So yeah. What I might do. How low would I have to go to get this thing out of there? So it turn quicker. We need to turn just a little bit quicker. Okay, F over. Left extension. Let's go ahead and pull that down slightly, like 15 meters maybe. Shorten it up there. All right. All right. Let's copy this back again. One more time, ladies and gentlemen. One more time. Be nice if I didn't have to worry about that thing the whole time. There we go. That's got a little more straighter trajectory. It's not stopping. One of the problems was it kept stopping on stuff. So now it's actually exiting the system out and then turning much quicker. So we got that going. So I'll need to, let's see, let's blueprint that again. Let me delete this. Delete that. There we go. The Mako working pretty good there. Let's go ahead and shove that blueprint in here. Number 9. See how it interacts with the system. We also got to open this up. Let me open it here. All right. And now launch again. And it looks like we're getting the same result as before. So this is all done right here. All I need to do is take this system. Okay, let's just delete that. And let's go ahead and, if I can, delete that. Now let's see. Copy. Now let's head over here to the destroyer. Oh, why can't we do that? Come on, why ain't it working? You've got to be kidding me. Why won't this work? There's no reason why this shouldn't work. Yet here we are not working. Okay, new plan. I can mount this to it. We'll do this. I'll then go back over here. We'll grab this thing real quick. I'll cut one block off. That's it. And then we can take the entire thing in.
Here's a question: where to go? Oh well, let's put the little joker out there so we can actually activate it. Hope I didn't lose that entire setup. Hope I didn't lose it. And pop up. No, we didn't. There we go. Number 3. Remove that. And copy. This should work. This should work. Ta-da! There we go. Now the missile's in position. That's one of 10. So I'll probably be fully arming the ship afterward and doing a silo test in the next live stream. I'll probably do that later tonight because my wife is sitting here looking at me and she's got that angry look of I'm hungry and I need to go somewhere and get something to eat. She's probably wanting pizza or something, I think, from the looks of it, or maybe a cheeseburger. That'll probably help her out. Anyway, folks, hope you guys enjoyed this and enjoyed the little live stream that we're doing right now and seeing all the advancements that are now happening to this ship, getting it all done. So we're gonna have 10 missiles, and I think I'm gonna try something with the nacelle system that will make this ship look really, really cool with the it'll make the ship kind of flow together with the blades that we're going to put on the side for the cannons, and then the nacelles are going to have a sweep to them as well, and that's going to make them look awesome. Anyway, thank you all for watching and being with me on this. I'll probably either do this tonight or we will do some Helldivers because I've got to get super credits. I may hook up with Dog and Eli if they want to hop on, and we may do some serious super credit runs, or I may find somebody on here who's looking for super credits in the Discord, and we may all just hook up. Renegade Bundy would probably be happy to hook up too. That'd give us a full. Actually, Renegade Bundy, Eli, and Dog. That'd give us a full squad. We could just bang out all of those real quick. Like we just break off into units of 2 and just take half the map each, and just get everything going. And we could knock those out in a matter of minutes. So we may do that, so we can get the super credits we need for the new Warbond coming out, because Xbox players are coming in, I think either Sunday or Monday. You guys will be on. So Xbox, y'all better get ready because you bet to have some fun. Anyway, I am Badger Wild saying stay safe, stay frosty, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye for now.